And we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Solo TV 84. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I know we had a couple people waiting. You could have been anywhere in the world today, but you're here with us. And by us, I have a special guest, white man below me. Please, sir, Ike, please, please introduce yourself. I'm just messing with Ike is black. He's black. Go ahead, Ike. Go ahead.
Well, shout out to the live audience. Shout out to Solo TV 84. This is Ike. Check out my channel. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let me see. Let me go ahead and post my channel on the. Did that work, Solo?
Okay, you posted it in the private chat. I'll post it in the public for you, bro.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
I got you. No worries. I got you.
I can't seem to be able to post it over there. But anyways, go ahead and check my channel. And today I represent more of a relative newbie to the crypto scene. I learned about crypto, Bitcoin, from the Joe Rogan podcast through Andreas Antonopoulos. I think it was back in 2010, 11 or something like that. And since then, I haven't been able to jump in, but I got the first opportunity to jump in March when there was a dip. So I got some Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the two that I understand the most fundamentals about. But I've actually thrown some more money at XRP and Cosmos and some other things, just so that I can have skin in the game and I can begin to learn. So hopefully here to represent that student and to ask good questions. Hopefully.
Okay, thank you, Ike. And our next guest is a very underrated YouTuber in this space. He's been around for a couple of years. Shout out to this brother for sending me the email. I really appreciate that because this is definitely information that needs to get out there. Sir, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell the audience what you do. Thank you.
Me? All right. Well, my name is CryptoWithLynell. My YouTube channel is just like the name, CryptoWithLynell, where I go over cryptocurrency news and insights. It's not a hype channel. There's a lot of YouTube crypto hype channels. What I do is I go over the relevant news of the day or possibly the week to go over what's going on, the latest news, the latest moves, the latest insights in the cryptocurrency space. It's a daily YouTube channel or daily YouTube upload, about 20 to 30 minutes. You can listen to it in podcast form. I read the articles, decipher them for those that may need it to be deciphered, and it's a great way for you to keep up to date on what's going on in the crypto space. So you may not want to read article after article, so I kind of condense everything together to give you a roadmap on what's going on in the crypto space, keep you up to date, kind of like geopolitics. And you don't need to know exactly what's going on, but a working knowledge of what's going on in the crypto space. And that's what I do.
All right, thank you, brother. And yeah, I was having some mic issues there for a second, but I'm back, right? I'm good.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Cool. All right, guys. So to begin, we're gonna start off with some big news today. Square buys 50 million in Bitcoin and says cryptocurrency aligns with company's purpose. Okay. Now, Lynell, did you? For some reason, I'm not getting your notification, even though I'm still subscribed to you, and the bell. Did you make a video on this today or no? Or am I just tripping?
No, I did not make a video on this today yet.
Okay. All right, good. Because YouTube has been funny style, obviously, with the notifications. Okay, let me get into this. So Square said Thursday it bought 4,709 Bitcoins worth approximately 50 million. This represents about 1% of Square total assets as of the end of the second quarter of 2020. Hold on, let me make that bigger. Square believes that cryptocurrency is an instrument of economic empowerment and provides a way for the world to participate in a global monetary system which aligns with the company's purpose, the company said in a release. Now, okay, guys, I don't want to sound ignorant, but who is Square? What are they, a financial institution, Lynell? Or what are they about?
Well, Square is owned by Jack Dorsey, which also owns Twitter. Square also owns Cash App. So yeah. So Jack Dorsey is a big Bitcoiner, big crypto person, and you can actually purchase Bitcoin on Cash App.
Which I
So,
have done just to experiment,
yeah.
But
So
I
go
think,
ahead.
or not to cut you off right now, but I think, isn't it a bit higher on Cash App than other exchanges? Or am
Yeah,
I reaching? Okay.
yeah. They do tax on it. Yes.
Okay. Well, thank God I only bought $5 worth
Yeah.
on Cash App. That's all. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Um, Payment company Square is buying large block of Bitcoin and unusual use of corporate cash. Square said Thursday it bought 4,709 Bitcoins worth approximately 50 million. This represents about 1% of Square's total assets as of the end of the second quarter of 2020. Square believes that cryptocurrency is an instrument of economic empowerment and provides a way for the world to participate in a global monetary system, which aligns with the company's purpose, the company said in a release. Lynell, now let me stop right there. For those of us who don't understand the corporate mumbo jumbo, how do you decipher that?
Well, since Jack Dorsey, who was the CEO of both Twitter and Square, he, like I said, he's a big Bitcoiner, and he do believe in the space and the asset class, and everything that you just read, he does believe in that. Twitter is regarded as one of the places where cryptocurrency people or fans can go and really get some information, some news, breaking news on the crypto space. Now, what they're doing is nothing new in terms of companies buying assets, and this asset being crypto Bitcoin, and putting it like a company asset. How example how Apple has a lot of money that they can go and spend. Well, some of that asset can be money, some of the asset can be land, buildings, and in this case, we're seeing Bitcoin. MicroStrategy, which is a company that purchased, I think, $250 million worth of Bitcoin a month ago. They were a company that did it, and now you're seeing a few other companies have done it, but now you're seeing Square purchasing Bitcoin as a company asset.
Okay. And Bobby McKnight Harrison says Cash App is forcing PayPal to get into the cryptos purchasing game. By the way, guys, if you don't want to go through the hassle of sending me crypto, you certainly can send me some Cash App, and then I will convert it into some crypto. Lynell, do you agree with that? Is Cash App trying to apply pressure to PayPal?
I do agree with it. You can look at this as like the Amazon Walmart competition. Amazon is Walmart's direct competition, so you'll see Walmart do things that look like they're copying what Amazon is doing because they're in direct competition. They don't want to get put out of business. So with the Bitcoin and Cash App PayPal situation, Cash App has been Cash App has been taking much of the pie in terms of sending money back and forth to people from PayPal. It's easier, it's simple, it's an app. The app is simple, it's straightforward. With PayPal, yes, people are familiar with PayPal. PayPal been around for years, more than a decade, but it's not as easy as Cash App. You can send money just with your thumb on Cash App. And with Cash App, they've been getting more and more revenue, taking more of that specific type of pie from PayPal, and now they're adding Bitcoin, and more people are getting the Bitcoin, like we just talked about. PayPal, but Cash App does tack on fees when you purchase Bitcoin, which means revenue for Cash App. PayPal sees that, and PayPal is like, okay, we're going to get into the crypto game. Also, PayPal is getting into the crypto game. I think you can or will be soon be able to purchase Bitcoin via PayPal. So he is correct.
Interesting, Lynell. And another thing about Cash App, right, is you can also buy traditional stocks. And I think that when you look at, how Cash App is doing it, they're making it very easy, right? What's the word I'm looking for that everybody uses in crypto? Oh, I can't think of it right now. But they're making it more adaptable for people. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, it's like one of the simple. One of the ways to explain simplicity, easy to use, is when people say it's so easy, your grandmother can use it, or your grandfather, or your grandparents can use it. And it's just that simple. When Cash App first came out, I'm like, okay, what's this new thing? Because when it first came out, you had Venmo, you had Zelle, and other PayPal. But as time went on, I downloaded and I saw how easy it was. I'm like, okay, this is simple. And then I found out that they're owned by Square, which is owned by Jack Dorsey, and they got PayPal. So that ease of use. Remember when Facebook was the new hotness years ago, and now your parents own it, your grandparents own it. It's like, I don't go on Facebook no more. That's gonna be Cash App.
Well, I think right now, I think people are still going to be using it though in the future because there's still a lot of people, especially in America, who have no clue about cryptocurrency whatsoever. Even financial advisors or professionals. Which, by the way, I do have to say real quick, guys, this is not financial advice. We're not, financial advisors. If you're looking for financial advice, seek a professional that is educated in crypto. But Lynell, would you agree with me on that? That because of the fact that cryptocurrency is becoming more, a lot of these companies, Lynell, and we talked about this in the last stream. A lot of these companies initially were denouncing crypto, and now these companies are buying it by the boatload.
Yeah. Now, when I say that that's going to be Cash App, yeah, I do agree. People are going to use Cash App because it's a way to send the money back and forth to people simply. You go to the barber. Hey, you accept Cash App? Yeah, I accept Cash App. But yeah, people are. As time goes on, it's going to be more and more adopted, especially that that these major classical institutions are in it and have been in it for years, such as your Fidelity, such as your E-Trades. So, and you also have big companies that are connected to it indirectly, connected to crypto indirectly, because they may own a company who delves in the cryptocurrency space in one way or another. So as time goes on, it'll be another asset class that people and companies are going to become familiar with and are going to invest in.
Okay, I totally agree with that. Ike, is there anything you want to add to this?
Well, yeah, I think that from what I could gather from the news today, it seems to be a huge deal. Now, Jack Dorsey, while he has been, he has a one-word Twitter bio, apparently, and you can confirm this right now. The one word is Bitcoin. So while he has always been a big Bitcoiner, if you will, personally, he has never quite put the corporate money where his mouth is, and that generally is because even though he's the owner of his of these establishments, it's a little bit more complex than having complete control, right? So I think that the fact that not only he, whom we've always known to be a Bitcoiner, a big believer in the crypto world, and having that one word Twitter bio, right? The fact that the company itself is actually going out there and buying $50 million worth, representing 1% of their assets, if you will, is huge. And I think that this is just is driving more and more of the fundamentals, and I'm quite excited about it, actually.
Yeah.
Awesome. Bobby McKnight, I do have to say, not to change the topic, but brother, you are killing it in that suit.
Yeah.
Woof. Looks good, fam. Looks good. I just want to say salute to B More Tails. What's going on, B More Tails? With the $4.99 super chat, bro. We appreciate you. I'm gonna continue on with the article. Thank you. Moderators, please make sure to get my likes up immediately. Thank you. Okay, let's continue here. Okay, the price of digital currency has risen around $10,724 from $7,100 in January. According to industry site CoinDesk, in a year, Raleigh with the coronavirus pandemic, the digital currency did drop below $5,000 during the recession in March. Now, I got to ask you real quick. When it dropped that low, did you cop some? I wish I did, but I didn't.
I didn't. I have a quota, and I try not to just buy blindly. I just have a quota and a few coins that I buy, but I didn't.
Okay. All right. Let's continue. We believe that Bitcoin has the potential to be more, is it ubiquitous currency in the future, said Square's chief financial officer, Amira Amira something. In a release, as it grows in adoption, we intend to learn and participate in a disciplined way for a company that is building products based on a more inclusive future. This investment is a step on that journey. Yeah, Lynell, it's like I said earlier. I mean, if you look at adoption, Cash App is making it very easy for people to get stocks, cryptocurrencies. And that's always been my thing, right, Lynell? I know we've talked about this, but the main, in my opinion, might be one of the main, or if not, in my opinion, is the main hurdle for crypto is adoption. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, adoption. You need adoption anything for more, because adoption means people are liking it, people are accepting it, people are using it, people are buying and selling it. That's adoption. Not only people, but retail companies, and well, not retail companies, but companies, period, and governments also.
Okay, let me continue. Square founder and CEO Jack Dorsey is an advocate of the digital currency, saying in 2018 the cryptocurrency will eventually become the world's single currency. However, the founder of Twitter said it could take as long as a decade. They got a typo right there. Using it or another cryptocurrency as a global currency would lower the barrier for Dorsey's payments company to enter new markets, he said in 2018. Bitcoin has been marked by volatility in its 11-year existence. That and its high transaction costs have largely kept it from being used as an everyday payment method. Instead, it's seen by some backers as a store of value or digital gold. That global hedge use case seemed unlikely in 2018 after it ended the year down more than 75%. However, some attribute its uptick in 2019 and 2020 to a hedge against the then U.S.-China trade war and now coronavirus pandemic. Lynell, do you agree with that sentiment, or are they reaching?
Well, right now, at least that I know of, it's been trading like the S&P. The dip in March does coincide with the dip in the S&P 500 in March. So it's been trading lockstep with the S&P. As far as why Bitcoin has been acting like an inverse to the dollar. So you look at the charts, you do a comparison to with the US dollar and with the S&P 500, you'll see some type of correlation in it.
All right. Ike, do you remember when we did our in-person interview? You actually mentioned that, right? But I forgot the terminology you used. Do you remember that part of the conversation?
Oh, yeah, we were talking about the correlation between the S&P and Bitcoin, and we were saying that, that kind of, at this point, it represents a bit of an issue when it comes to people actually believing in it, right? And for money, the reason why adoption is huge for money as opposed to, just some kind of other product is because money really is about belief, right? So the more people adopt it, the more of that network effect is going to build over time. And the general story is that it should be a non-correlated asset. But the fact that it is seemingly correlated at this point is a bit of an issue. But I had mentioned that, seeming correlation does not necessarily mean long-term correlation or that they're correlated on a fundamental level. And I kind of use the example of, you have your blinkers on and the person in front of you has their blinkers on. And sometimes they'll be in phase, right? They'll be going together. And then, but other times they'll be off. So just because something is temporarily correlated does not mean that it's going to be correlated forever or that they're fundamentally operating with under, using the same equation or that the lines of the graph are fundamentally the same, if that makes sense.
Okay, awesome. Let me continue. Square has enabled its clients to buy Bitcoin on its Cash App since 2018. Outspoken technology investor,
Chamath Palihapitiya.
thank you for that, told CNBC on Tuesday that Social Capital used Bitcoin as a 1% hedge in its portfolio. This is an instrument we use as a hedge. Now, before we continue, I'm pretty sure there's somebody asking, but what do they mean by hedge? What does that word hedge mean? Why does this keep coming up in this article?
Usually when they say hedge, it's a hedge against the dollar. So when the dollar declines in world value, then something goes up. Something's perceived to go up. So the classic is gold. When the dollar declines, gold usually goes up. Sometimes that's true. A lot of times it's true. Sometimes it's not true, such as now. But that's what they mean by a hedge. When the dollar declines, then they want to rotate their money into something else that is on the incline in order to stop their wealth from dissipating.
Okay.
And if I may add something real quick to that.
Yeah, go ahead, Ike. Take your time. Listen, guys. I know you hear the piano music in the back, right? Take your time. Today is a smooth show. Take your time. Let's go.
So I just wanted to add real quick a couple of sentences to that about Chamath Palihapitiya. Basically, speaking to the hedge point, he calls it schmuck insurance, right? And the idea is and the schmucks would be, let's say the Fed and everyone else in the traditional financial system. And if they run everything to the ground, then what, right? So that's the long play besides just the hedge. And the hedge point has to do with the fact that it should be non-correlated, right? That's why this current correlation is an issue. But to the long game, the idea is this: you take 1% and you put it into Bitcoin, let's say. And if everything collapses, which, hence the schmuck insurance, right? If everything collapses, your 99% that you have goes to zero. But that 1%, almost by definition, because everything has collapsed and this is the alternative and it's non-correlated and so on and so forth, that will flip up to being almost like 110%, right? So while everything is crashed and burned, not only have you kept your S together, you actually might be able to come out on top if that plays out. But if everything doesn't crash and burn, right, and maybe Bitcoin doesn't become what he is thinking it will become, then you still have your 99%, right? So that's the whole idea of hedging. But what I just described is kind of like a big hedge, and it's chaos and Armageddon, and then that 1% goes all the way up.
Okay. Now let me ask you guys this: for a beginner or a super novice in the space, right? Why is hedging important? Is it important for the long-term investor to know about it? I mean, what do you make of that, Ike? And Lynell, you can answer too as well. Hold on, guys. I'm going to put myself on mute. 1 second, please.
Well, hedging is important as a overall concept, right? Whether or not you're talking about investing or you're talking about your particular income or savings, or you're talking about anything in life that involves risk. The entirety of life is a risk game. So you always want to have something outside that's non-correlated. That's something that, in other words, the idea of hedging is don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? Now, some people would say, like Warren Buffett will say, put all your eggs in one basket and then really watch the basket, right? Now, if you don't have the high level analytical skills and focus to watch the basket and be quite sure to select the right basket, then hedging is for the rest of us, right? Hedging is saying, okay, these two things are non-correlated. When this one goes up, this one goes down. So let me put some eggs over here and then put some eggs over there so that having that seesaw effect. And this is true for any kind of activity in life, because life is a risk game at the end of the day, right? I know.
Yeah, I do agree. And also for a novice investor, or not even a novice investor, but a layman's investor, in layman's terms, they won't or may not have the time to really go in depth and say, well, what is hedging? Well, give me an example of hedging. So they may not do that, but it really comes into play when people are on the verge of retiring. Just like back into the 2008, 2009 recession, a lot of people were on the verge of retiring, and then they had the housing crash, housing financial crisis, and a lot of people saw their retirement nest egg decline, so they couldn't retire. But if they would have known about hedging, then they could have said, okay, um, these are the things I can put in place to make sure that I can retire comfortably. But knowing about that really requires them to, you know, quote unquote, do their own research. Because a lot of times when you trust a financial, not specifically a financial advisor, but the likes of a Fidelity or a T. Ameritrade or Charles Schwab, they're financial analysts or financial people. You they're they have a lot of customers, and a lot of people really put 100% of their trust in them and saying, well, they got my money, they're good, they're they're working for the big company, so they should have my best interest in hand. But sometimes that don't work out. So with hedging, it's just basically, hey, the market goes down, you just rotate your money in something else that acts as an inverse to the market going down. So it's going up. So you don't lose all your wealth. And remember, wealth is simply defined as what you keep. So if something goes down and is depleting your wealth, then your wealth is going down.
Thank you, Lynell. Very, very well said. I really appreciate that thoroughness, brother. David McFarland says, random tidbits. That's where the turn of phrase hedge your bets came from. Okay. I didn't know that. See, I learned something new every day. Okay. I appreciate that. This is an instrument we use as a hedge. Polypatia, right? Said, I don't think this is something that you trade. And the more people obsess and focus, in my opinion, at least, on what the price action is, the more that will confound you. The more it will frustrate you. You buy it, you hold it, you put it away, you hope that you never need it, he added. Now, before you guys add your input into this, Lynell, that's always been my strategy, right? When people say, oh, what's your strategy? Listen, HODL is my middle name. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in this for the long game. And I know, Lynell, you and I, we've talked about this in previous streams. Do you agree with their sentiment? Because it sounds like they're looking to HODL as well.
Yeah, Chamath, he used to work for Facebook. I think he's a billionaire, I believe.
Yep.
And he's been buying Bitcoin for God knows how long. And you have Jack Dorsey, which personally, he said that he's been buying Bitcoin on his own Cash App. You have other institutions, you have other well-known wealthy people that's been buying Bitcoin.
Wait, Lynell, not to cut you off. Do you believe him, or you think he's capping?
Oh, I believe him. I believe him.
He must get it for a lower rate then.
If you're a billionaire, anything is a lower rate at that point.
Yeah, well, he probably those fees are probably a tax write-off for him, right? Ike?
Probably.
Well, I'm sorry, Lynell. Keep going. I just wanted to interject that real quick. Thank you.
So Bitcoin has a finite supply, 21 million. About 18 some odd million has already been printed or made. So we only have, and there's a couple million that's been lost forever. But in terms of Bitcoin, that's going to be forged and made and mined, it's about 3 million, and that 3 million is going to be spread out over the next about 120 years into the year around the year 2140 when the last Bitcoin is going to be mined. So we're looking at companies, we're looking at people are buying Bitcoin, which creates a scarcity in the market. At some point, there will be a scarcity where the volume of Bitcoin being traded and bought and sold, it's not going to be a lot. So as you know, with scarcity, price is going to rise. At some point, I'm not saying it's going to be now. At some point, things will happen. We'll look up and like, wow, Bitcoin is at such and such. Wow, okay. And then you'll start to hear the reports saying, okay, this company bought X amount of Bitcoin. This person bought X amount of Bitcoin. This country bought X amount of Bitcoin as a hedge to, the dollar, so I believe we'll hear those stories at some point in time.
All right, thank you, Lynell. And I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. If you want to set up your screen, Lynell, to share, you're welcome to do so. And I want to read the $5 super chat. Thank you for 6 sounds. $5 super chat. Appreciate you. Shout out to Lord Hybrid. Okay, guys, real quick, I got to give credit where it's due. Lord Hybrid is the first person that I ever heard talk about cryptocurrency. And at the time, Lynell, when he was talking about it, I thought he was talking about, gibberish. Okay. It went over my head. And shout out to Hybrid, because he was talking about it on YouTube. I heard him first. This was back in 2016. And once Ian Bellina jumped in, who's a personal friend of mine, then I did all the research, everything I could, and I still feel foolish that I didn't listen to Hybrid at the time. But Lynell, at that time, it seemed like it's kind of like, a 5th grader who knows basic math, but then you're trying to teach him how to do, pre-calc. What are your thoughts, Lynell, on that? Do you think that cryptocurrency is intimidating? I mean, how did you perceive it when you first got into the space? Were you overwhelmed by it? What are your thoughts? And I can chime in certainly as well, since you're new in the space too.
Well, when I first heard about Bitcoin, some semblance of it, it was years ago, before I really got into it. And a lot of us first heard some naming of a Bitcoin or something to that effect around Silk Road, when you look at the news and they'll say, oh, such and such has been arrested in connections to their dealings with Silk Road. And the news would give the narrative of, oh, they use this money, criminals use this money. What else what other words did they use? Pedophilia, child pedophilia, people use this money, money laundering uses this money to conduct crime. And these are the same things they said about the internet when the internet first came along, that, oh, only the low lives use the internet. You don't need to use the internet. And we first heard about that, it was like, well, I don't want to use that. I don't want to go to jail, because in your mind, your mind makes those connections. But as time went on, I heard about it again back in 2017, mid 2017, before the real hype came in, like a month or two before the hype came in. And when I got into it, yeah, it was a learning curve. It was a couple months learning curve, because it was something new, especially then. How to purchase it, you had to go on YouTube or Twitter, mainly YouTube, to see, well, how do I purchase Bitcoin? How do I purchase Ethereum? How do I purchase XRP? And they'll tell you, and you're like, that don't sound right. So you at home on your computer making a Coinbase account, and you got to put your money on there, and you buy Bitcoin, you send it to over here. And the first time I did that, yeah, I was scared. It was like, okay, it ain't there. An hour later, okay, now it's just, oh man, I thought I lost my money. And you buy it, and then you hear people say, don't keep your coins on the exchange. So you're like, well, okay, where should I put it? Now you got to go research and say, well, where do I keep my Bitcoin? Where do I keep my Ethereum? And all of that is a learning curve. But as time goes on, we're seeing, such as Cash App, that it's easier. The learning curve is being cut short. But it's still a learning curve, but it's being cut short. I've seen commercials on YouTube with Alec Baldwin saying, what is Bitcoin? What is blockchain? So we're starting to see the creep of crypto creep into popular vernacular, creep into popular social fabric.
Yeah, I mean, they've even had a movie called Crypto, And then I know the Big Bang Theory had a crypto episode. Now, for those of you guys who know the Big Bang Theory, that was a big TV show. If I'm not mistaken, they were the #1 TV show a few years in a row.
Yeah.
Ike, what are your thoughts when you first got into the space? When you heard about it, was there a learning curve for you? Was it overwhelming? I mean, you're a smart guy, Ike, so I'm pretty sure you figured out, who killed JFK. But go ahead, bro.
To harp on one thing that Lynell said, which was this: first of all, he bought it, right? And I think that is the main thing to do. The way systems learn, and we're just a system like any other, right? The real way to push them to learn is by having skin in the game. That's how things grow, and that's, you get feedback from the environment. You don't really get any real feedback if you don't really have any real skin in the game. You don't have a lot of incentive to go down the rabbit hole, right? So he said he bought it, and then he learned. Don't put it in the exchange. If he did not buy it, he would have not have paid attention to that part of the information, for example, right? So since he had skin in the game, it was like, okay, well, now let me get into this whole, where do I put it? Let me find out about cold wallets and so on and so forth. How do I store my Bitcoin? So I would say that the first thing vis-a-vis learning and the learning curve thereof is to actually throw something in. And doesn't matter how small, okay? Doesn't matter how small, whatever you got kind of saved up, or if you have anything in the markets, just start with 1%, just like Square is doing, right? 1%, which is 50 billion for them. But put some skin in the game and then start learning. As far as my own personal journey, pardon me?
It's 50 million. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, 50 million. So basically, put some skin in the game, and then you're gonna start learning. Okay, if you're at all worried about the curve. Now, my particular journey kind of started, as I mentioned before, in I think in 2010 or 2011. This guy called Andreas Antonopoulos, Bitcoin Jesus, was on Joe Rogan podcast. I heard him, and that's when I started this whole process of learning about it. For me, anyways, the main thing was to learn about the blockchain, right? What is the blockchain? And okay, so it's this thing that allows us to create actual things that almost have conservation of mass properties in the space of why does this escape me now? In the digital space, let's say, right? So that, if I send it to you, I no longer have it. Because in the digital space, that's a problem. Usually, if I send you an MP3, I still have the MP3, but the blockchain makes it such that when I send you this Bitcoin, it leaves my area, goes to you, right? And that's something that happens in the physical world, but it was a problem forever in the digital space. So the learning curve for me was to understand that concept and then understand what money really is. And then when 2017 came around, and towards the end of 2017, it reached all-time highs and everything, I thought, crap, I missed my opportunity. But I've been watching this space ever since. And when the opportunity came in March, when it dipped down in March, that's when I got in. Okay, so the learning curve is not huge for Bitcoin, I would say. Now, decentralized finance, Ethereum, and all that other stuff, that is a little bit more intricate, okay? But money, in terms of, gold, and now this is digital gold, and you don't necessarily have to be a programming expert to understand that what the solution, right, that the blockchain is offering, right, which is there is a problem in digital space about creating unique items, or having a decentralized ledger where everyone can see what's going on, that kind of a thing, right? So that is a problem. Blockchain solves that problem. Okay, now it's a question of adoption. But first, to my first point, put money in, and then you'll be forced to learn.
Okay, thank you for that, Ike. And by the way, Hybrid, hey, man, I appreciate that, man. Hybrid coming through. He says, Solo, you spread crypto to the manosphere much further than I could reach. Happy for your growth, and thank you for putting strong content out there, fam. Much respect. Me and Solo go way back. Yeah, Hybrid, man, I appreciate that, man. But Hybrid, I got to give you credit, man, because I always say the first time I heard about crypto was because of you. And it was kind of like gibberish to me, right? And then when Ian came in, then I jumped on, right? Because I knew Ian personally, and I've traveled with Ian and other things, and he's a very intelligent guy. But yeah, Hybrid has been talking about crypto way before me, before a lot of people in the manosphere. I think it was Hybrid, I am Aaron, and then another guy named Venetian Midtown. Those are the three that I'm aware of. I'm pretty sure there may be others, but those are the three that I'm aware of. And then when I talked about crypto, oh my God, Lynell, I was wilding. I used to go on Coinbase to show brothers how to buy it on Coinbase, man. I was tripping. Nowadays, I probably won't do that.
Right, because you're more knowledgeable now.
Yeah, but I think Lynell, when I first heard about it, not heard about it, but when I first started to understand it with blockchain and all of that, I became excited because it felt like the gold rush. Like, we the first ones to hear about it. And then I remember people in my comments, they were saying, "Oh, this sounds like a scam," But anyway, Lynell, this is your channel. Go ahead and post the link on your channel, and then we'll continue on to the next topic.
Okay. Yeah, this is my channel on CryptoWithLynell. That's the name. And like I said, it's daily cryptocurrency news and insights, pre-recorded videos, 20 to 30 minutes long. It's in podcast format where you can just listen to it on your go. Well, on the go.
Check out Lynell, guys. Yeah, and Lynell is funny because I was telling you in our last stream, bro, I listen to you all the time in the gym. Not as much as I used to, but man, I remember just doing cardio listening to you, bro, because you remember Lynell, you'd go live and I'd be in your chat. That's when I usually was at the gym, but now you don't go live, you pre-record your videos more, is that right?
Yeah, I do the pre-recording because the live video, the amount that it takes to do live and the amount of views, it wasn't matching up. I saw more views in my pre-recorded videos.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, now Lynell, are we going to see some coins right now, or what are we checking out?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So go ahead.
Oh, it's on you, Lynell. Go ahead.
All right. So one of the popular market watch sites to go to is CoinMarketCap, and that's one of the sites that people go to when they first get into crypto. It's popular. It's nothing wrong with it. I'll wait for it to come up. It shows you the market cap of the cryptocurrency, and it ranks them from 1 to however many cryptocurrencies that are on the market according to their market cap. I like Live Coin Watch because it gives a few more some more information pertaining to the coins that I'm looking at. I may use Live Coin Watch and CoinMarketCap in tandem, depending on which site gives me what particular information. But like I've said before, and it doesn't hurt to go over things over and over again, because when you do it on a redundant basis, it really gets embedded into your mind. The current crypto market cap is $340 billion. Now, of that 340 billion round pie, Bitcoin dominates 59.28% of that pie. So that means more than half of that pie, of this cryptocurrency market cap pie, belongs to Bitcoin. And mind you, there's, let me go to, see this one I'm talking about. I'll go to Live Coin Watch to see how many coins are in circulation. So according to Coin Market Cap, up here where my cursor is at, there's about 7,000 cryptos. That's a lot. So, and this is more of a critical thinking. You've been, you as you've been in the space for a while, you kind of think of things. So if that $340 billion pie, more than half of it, like 60% of it, belongs to Bitcoin, and then you're talking about the number 2, the number 4. I skipped Tether because it's a stable coin. Number 4, 5, 6, 7 cryptocurrencies. I think 1 through 20 is about 80% of that pie. So now you're looking at 20% of that cryptocurrency pie, that cryptocurrency market cap, has to be divvied up amongst 7,325 coins, which means a lot of coins are going to have a small market cap, which means a lot of coins are going to have low 24-hour volume, low liquidity, which means if you are investing in a coin that has low liquidity, when it's time for you to sell, when that coin reaches your target and you want to sell, you want to take profits, you may not be able to sell that coin quickly. It may take a day or two for you to sell that coin. Now, juxtapose that with the stock market. You go to your E-Trade, your Charles Schwab's or Fidelity account, and you say, well, AT&T just hit $55. I think I'm gonna sell 10 shares, get 550 and buy this new iPhone. Well, you go sell your AT&T, it's gonna sell real quick. That means that market for AT&T stock is a high liquidity market. There's always buyers and sellers in there readily to buy and sell. So I'll take Bitcoin since everyone's familiar with Bitcoin. We click on Bitcoin, go into the Bitcoin market. You got your metrics up here. Bitcoin, the price is $10,889. The market cap is $201.5 billion. Remember, the total cryptocurrency market cap is 340. Also, you have the volume, which means how much of the buying and selling that's going on Bitcoin, people buying and selling, what's the total value of that? And it's 5.682 billion. That's just like a 24-hour rolling 24-hour basis. So every 24 hours, about $5.6 billion of Bitcoin being bought and sold. Volume per cap. So of this $5.6 billion being bought and sold per day, that equates to 2.82% of its total market cap. So 2.82 or 3% of its market cap is being bought and sold, and that's billions of dollars. Billions would it be? All-time high was $20,000.89. You got 1 hour, 24 hours, 7-day, 30-day. It's up across the board from 1 hour to 30. The past 30 days. Past 30 days is up 7.76%. You got the circulating supply, like I said earlier, it's about 18.5 million Bitcoins in circulation. Total supply is still the same. Circulating supply and total supply is going to match. Total supply means total on the market. That's maximum supply, like I said, is finite. Its maximum supply is 21 million. There can never be more than 21 million Bitcoin in circulation. Show you the 24-hour range, the fluctuation 24 hours, 3.38% and so forth. Now, what I like is when we go down here, it shows the depth chart and you have the buys and sells. These little bars, these informational bars right here in the middle, that means of the buyers and sellers, they're meeting in the middle to say, okay, we're agreeing on this price. And the more bars you see, information bars you see toward the middle, that means that the buyers and sellers are agreeing more and are highly likely to agree on a price, opposed to if you're seeing high bars at the end on the edges, that means the buyers and sellers do not agree on the price. You may not be able to sell your coins or your asset quickly. And you will see that on low liquidity assets, that you see these bars, these order book bars, further away from each other. Buyers and sellers can't agree on the price. Next, you see the market map, where you have all these exchanges, and there's a lot more exchanges that Bitcoin can be bought and sold on. Binance, other is many other exchanges. OKX, DigiFinex, Hits BTC, and so on. It has a little information on what is BTC. You can find this on any other cryptocurrency that is out there. Some cryptocurrencies may not have this information because they may not have a lot of information they can give. You have some social media information, subreddit tweets, and also what I like about here for the coders out there, you have a connection to its GitHub. Now, this is a rolling 12-month map of the upgrade activity of the repo activity on Bitcoin's GitHub. This just means that there are coders and people actively working on Bitcoin's code. A lot of coins you see this just empty, just a white surface, which means it's not a lot of activity being worked on that coin's code. But with Bitcoin, the reason I chose Bitcoin, because it's the #1 coin. It controls 60% of the market cap, so it's going to have the most activity. And you can compare Bitcoin's activity, no matter if it's this map of the coding activity that's being done on Bitcoin, or if it's on the order book, or if it's on the charts or anything else. If you're looking to buy a coin, you have to make sure, okay, what's the volume? If it is it less than $1 million? If it's less than $1 million, then what tends to happen is if it's traded on multiple exchanges, then let's say the volume is $500,000, 24-hour volume. If it's traded on different exchanges, some exchanges volume of that coin may be $10,000. You're not going to quickly buy and sell that coin or sell that coin quickly. Some exchanges may have all the volume. So Bitcoin, these are the metrics in Bitcoin that I just went over. And I forgot what I was going to say after that. And this is what you can look at to say, okay, what's a good coin to buy if you're just only looking at the metrics. In my opinion, if a coin says, or a project, if a project says, hey, we allow you to send money to other people fast. In my opinion, that's not a good project, because you being able to send money to other people via a crypto is baked into the code. When you create a cryptocurrency project and you create the code, you're creating a way to send money back and forth to people. So if that's the only thing you can do, that means you're competing against Bitcoin, which has all the volume. You're competing against Ethereum. You're even competing against stable coins. And stable coins are coins that are pegged to the dollar. So stable coin is going to always be $1 or somewhere between 97 cents or $1.02. It's always going to be $1. So that coin that claims that they allow you to send money back and forth to people fast, and that coin is ranked number 300, they're competing against all these other coins above it that do the same thing just because they have the same code, and they're competing against it. They have to bring something else, like Ethereum. Ethereum is trying to be like a world computer. You have countries such as Russia doing a lot of things or putting a lot of information on Ethereum's blockchain. A lot of DeFi protocols is on Ethereum's blockchain. A lot of games. One most notably back in 2017 was something called CryptoKitties. That's on Ethereum's blockchain. You have companies that are using Ethereum's blockchain. Fun fact, JP Morgan, whose CEO is Jamie Dimon, which once said, if you work for me and you own cryptocurrency, you'll be fired. Fun fact is, JP Morgan Chase took Ethereum's code and made another decentralized ledger protocol called Quorum, Quorum. It's a hyperledger. They took Ethereum's code. Also, you have XRP, which is competing against Swift. Swift is a current way for you to send money. So if you ever sent money across the world and it cost you $20, $25, no matter if you were sending it through Western Union, through your bank, or through MoneyGram, it always costs a lot of money. You're using the Swift program, the Swift banking system, world banking system. XRP is offering you a way to send money across the world, A, faster, and B, cheaper, and they're competing against Swift. You have Binance and their coin. Binance is the largest cryptocurrency, I think, about volume in the world. You have Bitcoin Cash, which is a clone of Bitcoin. You have these other cryptocurrencies that have relevant use cases.
Wait, Lynell, can I stop you for a second? Because I know there may be a person watching and they're like, woo, how does the person know which coin should I get? Like, how should I even start? I mean, and once again, this isn't financial advice, but where would you tell Lynell somebody to begin if they were looking to, get into the space?
Well, for me, when I first got into the space, I heard about XRP, and I heard that they were allowing people to send money back and forth to other countries cheaper. And I've sent money to other countries, and not when I send money, it was through Western Union and MoneyGram, and that tax that they put on there it hurts. It's like $20. If you sending a lot of money, it's gonna cost more. And so at the time I've done that, it was okay, it cost $25. But when I heard that XRP was allowing you to send money back and forth cheaply, I'm like, I just harken back to those memories. Like, wow, I did use a lot of money to send money back and forth, but that's a use case that XRP has. Let's go to another one. A lot of times what you can just do is just click on the coin you're thinking about, make sure it passed the metrics, make sure it has the relevant volume. You can't just look at its previous all-time high and say, well, if it just reached that all-time high, I'll be good. If it's like 4 cents now, its previous all-time high was $5. If I get $10,000, well, 10,000 coins, and it reached $5, I'm making bank. We can't really do that, because what tends to happen is that coin project can go bust. It can just slide down in the rankings and the market cap, and people just forget about it, because you need people actually wanting to buy what you're selling in order for you to cash out of that coin. So really can't look at that. So I clicked on Chainlink, which is the number 7 cryptocurrency. Clicked on it right here. What you can just do, there's a link to its website right here. It's like 2 links together. It goes to its website. And when you go to this Acoin's website, they should say what they are, what they're all about, what do they do. And again, I'll reiterate, redundancy is a good way to remember things. If the only thing they say is we allow you to send money back and forth to your friends or family faster, they're competing with all the other cryptocurrencies that's above them on the market cap. They're competing with Cash App. They're competing with PayPal, which is trying to compete with Cash App, and they're going to compete with all these other companies, both crypto and classical companies. So that's like a no-go. So with Chainlink, they're saying building an economically fair world for everyone. Okay. It says a cryptographically enforced system of contracts will take both our daily lives and the world's emerging markets into a new age of economic fairness. To cut everything short, the long and short of it is, I know about Chainlink. What Chainlink does is and go back to the markets. A lot of these coins are walled silos. What that means, walled silos, you may hear the term walled silos or walled gardens. What that means is there's no interoperability between Bitcoin or Ethereum or Bitcoin or Bitcoin to XRP or XRP to Ethereum. Their blockchains really don't talk to each other. They can't interact with each other. What Chainlink does, hence the name Chainlink, a blockchain link, 2 blockchains linking to each other, what they do is allow interoperability between a Bitcoin or XRP or 2 different blockchains. That's a use case. They are saying, hey, okay, we got this new space that they really don't talk to each other in terms of their blockchains. So we're going to allow them to talk to each other. So looking at that coin's website, doing a little bit of research on Twitter, a lot of these projects have Twitter accounts, dedicated Twitter accounts where you can go and ask some questions. And let me go to Chainlink, a lot of other social media. So you can look at their white paper, but sometimes that's hard to read. They have Chainlink, they have the Twitter symbol right here. They have, what's this, Discord? I think this Discord. GitHub, this GitHub. A lot of them have a Discord. Now you have to be aware of scams, but there's ways for you to find out what a cryptocurrency is all about after it passes those metrics of, okay, is it good to invest in terms of its price? Well, not really price, its market cap, its 24-hour volume. And I will also say, don't go crazy. Don't go get 20, 30, 40 cryptocurrencies. You wouldn't get 20, 40, 30 stocks. So
wait.
Yeah.
He's talking about FOMO. You know what FOMO is, right?
Oh, fear of missing out, right?
Yeah. You know what, Lynell, not to cut you off, but when Chainlink was, everybody's talking about it about 2-3 months ago. I jumped on it, but it was already too high. Can you explain to the audience real quick about the FOMO, or for those who don't know? Thank you.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So let's go to Chainlink. Let's look at this charts. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, we're going to go to year to date. So the beginning of the year. Beginning of the year, Chainlink was trading at about $1.90. Currently, Chainlink is at $9.50. All-time high was $19.79. Its all-time high is pretty recent, which was in August. It reaches all-time high. So from the beginning of the year, let's be honest, Chainlink was not on a lot of people's radar. As a matter of fact, Chainlink was not ranking number 7 on the cryptocurrency market cap. But as the prices went up, on my channel, I saw stories about Chainlink, and I put them in my YouTube pre-recorded videos because they were relevant. Chainlink doing this, Chainlink has got this partnership. Those are relevant stories pertaining to the cryptocurrency industry. Now, Chainlink price started going up from $1.90 in the beginning of the year to about $4, $3. You doubled your investment, and then it took a dip, obviously here, and then it just started going up, going up, going up. So a couple months ago, around June, July, was when Chainlink hit about $10. Everybody was trying to get into it. Then it shot up to about $19, and a lot of stories came out, and it went down. It went down like the rest of the cryptocurrency market because a lot of cryptos are correlated to Bitcoin. And to give you an example of what I'm talking about, see these, so this weekly chart of Bitcoin, a small weekly chart, you see Bitcoin goes up. You will see a lot of cryptos with the same, if you go down the list, you'll see a lot of cryptos chart look like the same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin dumps, a lot of cryptocurrency dump. When Bitcoin skyrockets, a lot of cryptocurrency skyrocket. That's just the nature of the cryptocurrency space. But a lot of people did FOMO at the top here. A lot of people did. And then the price started to slump down, slump down, slump down. Another thing I want to point out is this Chainlink FOMO was about May to August timeframe this year. Now there's another FOMO coming into the space, which is DeFi coins. You have this Uniswap, this Yearn Finance. You even have ridiculous. Now there is ridiculousness to the cryptocurrency space, which is these food meme DeFi coins. One, I covered it on my channel. I said, don't invest in this crap because you have something called yam finance, like yam, like sweet potato yams. You have something called pickle finance. You have something called pasta finance. You have something called hamburger finance and hot dog. I'm not lying. These things are, in my opinion, utter trash. They're food meme coins. They're memes.
Are they just a quick pump and dump scheme?
Yes.
Let's talk about that for people. Ike, do you have any questions, Ike? If you want to interject too, that's why you're here, bro.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have a few questions, and perhaps this might then, dovetail with the pump and dump schemes. Now, you had mentioned a few things. Like, first of all, you mentioned that you have a certain kind of a allocation in terms of buying. Do you trade either Bitcoin or any of these other cryptocurrencies?
I don't trade Bitcoin now. I am practicing my technical analysis. I do have a mentor. Shout out to Dollar Will. He does mentor me in terms of technical analysis, but I don't trade cryptocurrency. I only trade right now futures and Forex. That's not to say that you cannot trade Bitcoin. As a matter of fact, I do chart Bitcoin. I go to my Bitcoin chart. It's the monthly right here. I'm going to I like the 4-hour better. So I do chart Bitcoin.
Wait,
right
this
now.
is the chart you made?
Yeah. This is my chart of Bitcoin. We were in a symmetrical triangle, but we did break out to the upside. So we'll see. But I don't trade Bitcoin because I'm new. I've been doing technical analysis since March, practicing, learning. I mainly stay toward Forex and the euro dollar and oil in West Texas oil. But you can trade Bitcoin. Where? I don't know. I don't know where people trade Bitcoin. I don't know.
Gotcha. Now, you mentioned technical analysis. I'm assuming that you are practicing the technical analysis and you're making those charts in order to be able to possibly make trades and stuff like that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then I want to ask something because generally speaking, I tend to be more of a fundamentals guy. Um, and that may just be temporary, right? Because perhaps just like you, I'm learning more and more about this technical analysis. What is your degree of trust in the technical analysis, and which particular kinds of modes of placing patterns upon this rather chaotic charts do you go with? I see these wedges, for example, or the Fibonacci's and this and that and the other. I mean, I fundamentally know that it's not some solid inductive process like saying the sun is going to rise tomorrow. It's more, pattern recognition, and being the pattern recognition animals that we are, we may be finding patterns where they do not really exist. What is your general feeling about the ability or the, shall I say, the soundness of these patterns that we put on top of the charts?
Well, technical analysis. Excuse me. Let me zoom out. This is a collective human psychology.
Mhm.
The markets are where you buy and sell. There's buyers and there's sellers. This is a collective human psychology. And this collective human psychology tend to make patterns, believe it or not. To zoom out a little bit more, this right here, we were in another symmetrical triangle. A symmetrical triangle is where prices respect a two converging trend lines. I
Mhm.
plotted this trend line on this point and this point, this point, and this point, and it just respected that trend line until these candlesticks started getting tighter and tighter, meaning there was indecision in the marketplace between the bulls or the buyers and the sellers until the buyers went out, and like an explosion, the price went up. In turn, oops, oh man, I moved that by mistake. Can I back that? Okay, anyway. Um, in terms of the patterns, these patterns have been documented and written about for over 100 years. People that have been in the market tend to recognize patterns such as this triangle pattern, another pattern, multiple patterns, head and shoulders pattern, reverse head and shoulders, candlestick patterns. So to answer your question even further, let me zoom in. Bitcoin broke out. I was seeing it. This is a 4-hour candlestick, which started at 7. I saw this. I saw this breakout. I said, okay, Bitcoin broke out. We won't get any news about why it broke out until tomorrow. And the news we'll get will be, oh, Bitcoin broke out because Trump talking about stimulus checks. Oh, Bitcoin broke out because something happened in a country around the world. It's always multiple excuses as to why Bitcoin went up, as to why Bitcoin went down. When those articles come out, I've already saw the move. And I know this is a symmetrical triangle, which means price can go either up or down. And once it breaks these two, either one of these two converging trend lines, I can say, hey, this pattern is showing up. I know on this symmetrical triangle, price can either go up and down. As a teacher, what is a good target is you take the width of the symmetrical triangle. That's why I have these little two rectangles right here as a price target. And I can say, well, okay, I don't care why it went up or who made it go up or the reason it made it go up. I understand these patterns. I understand Elliott wave theory. And okay, that will give me an edge as to the definition of technical analysis is. It's a procedure, it's an analytical tool to help you project price movement. And it's been studied for over 100 years.
Mhm.
And you can use that to help you get an edge or a gain on the prices.
Mhm.
There's people making money in this. There's people not making money in this. And there's people just not doing it. It helps you make money or find entry and exit points
Mhm.
on a market. To me, it works. I'm in a trade right now on a euro dollar.
Mhm.
You know,
So
yeah.
if I may just just asking a little bit further to make sure that I understand here. So you had mentioned, for example, that converging triangle, meaning that the bulls and the bears are fighting, right? And then you said, oh, the bulls won out. So it could be the case that the bears could win out, but the point being, though, that when you see that triangle pattern forming, you know that there's going to be a breakout to the upside or to the downside, right? So now it's on you to kind of decide whether you're shorting or you're doing this. And in other words, you don't necessarily know for sure it's going up, but you know that the bulls are going to win or the bears are going to win pretty soon. Am I right in that interpretation of what you said?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I have another question about volatility. And so I don't mean to keep this
No,
going on.
brother. Yo, go ahead. No, these are good questions, bro. Because I'm here. I'm taking notes too, man. Facts.
What is your general feeling about volatility? Because people say, earlier you mentioned the fact that there is a limited supply. 18 million has been mined, if you will. There'll be 21 million. The halving happens. It gets shorter and shorter supply. It is quantitative hardening as opposed to quantitative easing, if you want to use that kind of analogy, right? So therefore, the price will continue to go up. So that's one kind of a bet. There is another thing about, the general volatility in the space. Some people look at it as a good thing, and some people look at it as a bad thing. As more adoption takes place, for example, Square buying $50 million worth today, right? And by the way, was that 50 million Bitcoin or $50 million?
They bought $50 million worth of it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense because there's only 21 million Bitcoin.
4,709 Bitcoin.
Gotcha. Makes sense. So the idea is, as I've heard this analogy used before that, Bitcoin is kind of like a smaller boat. As it gets bigger and bigger, it's going to be affected less and less by the waves, right? So when do you think, or how long could you project for when, volatility will start to go down? Is it what market cap, what size do you think it'll have to be? And do you take advantage of the volatility? Do you look at it as a good thing? What are the thoughts generally on volatility?
So the definition of price volatility pertaining to the markets, I'll read the correct definition. Price volatility is used to describe price fluctuations of a commodity. Volatility is measured by the day-to-day percentage difference in the price of the commodity, the degree of variation, not the level of price. So when I talked about Bitcoin, I looked at this 24-hour range, 3.38%. Within 24 hours, Bitcoin price went up and down or sideways 3.38%. So look at the charts. To answer your question, quick answer, volatility is good. Volatility is in every market. Prices can do one of three things: up, down, or sideways. To let you know, this is a sideways movement. It's sideways. It's not really particularly up, not really particularly down. It's just a sideways movement. You're going to find volatility in anything. Let's go to oil. That's the nature of the beast. This is oil. Price went up, up, down, up, down, up, down. When you can use a technical analysis to project if a price is going to go up or down, you have an edge. You can say, okay, price is going to go down. It could go down to this area, and I can potentially make money on that. As Bitcoin, because got the BTC, as Bitcoin goes up in price, you're still going to have volatility. Well, how much volatility? We don't know. It's impossible for me to say, oh, Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million by some time. Bitcoin is at $10,000. There is no effing way in the world for me to say Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million by the year such and such. I can say that.
John McAfee does it.
Oh, John McAfee is, look, let me tell you about John McAfee for those that's listening. The SEC just arrested John McAfee in Spain because he was pumping ICOs back in 2017. They're going to get him on charges for not paying taxes. John McAfee back in 2018 said that BTC would be $1 million by the end of 2020. If not, he was going to cut off his own family jewels and eat it. He obviously since then backslided on that and said that, oh, I was trying to raise awareness for BTC. John McAfee is a freaking what like a high on drugs guy. That guy's a nut. I'm telling you, he's a nut. This guy rolls around the ocean off the coast of the Dominican Republic with a boat full of assault rifles. That's who John McAfee is.
Yeah, he's admitted to doing a lot of cocaine. Yes.
Yeah, that guy's a nut job. But how Bitcoin is 10,000. How can I say Bitcoin will reach $1 million by a certain time? Will Bitcoin reach $1 million? Sure, it's pure speculation. Sure, why not have at it? Eat your cake and drink your milk too. You know.
Lynell, can we, if it's okay, address the super chat by Bobby McKnight Harrison? Or
shoot, I'm here.
Okay, so Bobby says, can you all speak on the possible parabolic rise of the entire market in 2021 as it correlates to the BTC halving that has already occurred? Will you predict the price of BTC in 2021? Lynell, I'll let you go first because I have my prediction that I already gave, but I'll let you go first and we'll see how far apart we are. Go ahead, bro.
All right. So for those who listen who may not know what a halving is, every 4 years, Bitcoin's, I think I got it here. Hopefully I got it here. I think I do. Bitcoin's emission rate, meaning, do I have it here? Okay, I think this is it. Bitcoin's, Bitcoin's emission rate, meaning the amount of Bitcoin that's being mined and put into the public gets cuts in half. It was 12.5 before May, and it got cut down to 6.25, which means every 10 or so minutes, 6.25 Bitcoin is put into the world for people that can buy, sell, hodl, whatever. 4 years from now, they'll be cut in half again to about 3. So every 10 minutes, 10 or so minutes, 3 Bitcoin will be put into the wild. That's deflationary, meaning what people thought was, okay, the Bitcoin halving coming up, there'll be less Bitcoin be mined by miners, which means it's going to be create a scarcity. You got all these people, freaking Fidel CEO Abigail Johnson's talking about they've been mining Bitcoin since 2014. This is real. She's actually said that. And Fidelity, buying Bitcoin, there's not a lot of Bitcoin to be bought. So the Bitcoin halving coming up, there's going to be less Bitcoin being mined for people to buy and sell, which means, scarcity time. That means the price is going to rise. Obviously, Bitcoin halving came about May 10th around this year. It really didn't do nothing. So you can thus put forward the argument that the halvings doesn't really have a positive or negative not correlation, but price impact on Bitcoin. Yeah, I think this is the third halving Bitcoin has had, or the second. I think this is the second halving Bitcoin has had. So it's really about market sentiment. It's really about BTC versus the dollar because, yeah, those type of correlations. So the halving impact on Bitcoin price, this is the second halving. The next halving is in 2024. We'll see.
Lynell, by that time, hopefully you and I will be in Colombia sipping on pina colada.
Oh man. Yeah,
well, you're going to give us your prediction.
Prediction, Lynell.
For what again?
Bitcoin, he said in 2021, right?
Yeah, he said 2021. What do you think? Even though you just said that, it's kind of hard to everything you just said means it's pretty hard to predict, right?
Yeah, let me do this. By 2020, let me because we've mentioned that Bitcoin has been correlating with the S&P, and I don't want to I don't want to just say it. I want to show it SPX to look at the correlation between Bitcoin and the S&P. So the blue line is Bitcoin and the red line is the S&P. Let's zoom out a little bit. So when the S&P went down, Bitcoin started to go down. Bitcoin did go down harder. S&P has been going up. Bitcoin went up around the same time. So Bitcoin and S&P may not be correlated forever, but right now, for the time being, they're correlated. And if in 2021 the S&P goes down, yeah, there's a good chance that Bitcoin may go down too. Yeah, I understand the hype that people want Bitcoin to go up. Hell, I want Bitcoin to go up. I want to see my investments go up like everyone else. But let's be realistic. Right now, it's hard to say that it's going to go to the moon or Alpha Centauri or to some other universe or galaxy because it's correlated to the S&P. Again, it's not me saying it. I'm actually showing it to you that it's correlated. They went down together. This is like 2019 right here. As a matter of fact, it says it down here, February 2020, and they're upticking together. So if the S&P goes to the downside, which it is looking like it's doing, then you can actually see Bitcoin do the same thing. But that does not, I am not saying that Bitcoin is not worth investing in. All I'm saying is we could see it correlate to the S&P if the S&P goes down. And it looks like the S&P is reversing because a trend is higher high, higher low. This is the high of the S&P. It made a low and it failed to make a higher high, thus indicating a reversal in the trend. It failed to make a higher high. So using technical analysis, I can assess that it's going to make another lower low, which it did. It did make a higher high relative to this, but it still got until it break this high, then the reversal to the downside is still in. And with that, you can make money off that. So yeah, yes, I do want Bitcoin to go up. Yes, I'm with you. Hey, I'm in that boat with you. I'm on them plush leather ostrich seats with the with the seatbelt on. I want to sip the pina coladas in the Dominican Republic, in the Caribbean. I want to go to Colombia and say what's up to Solo. Yes, I do. But in reality, it may not happen within the next few months.
Well. So what do you think? Where it'll be at by the end of 2021?
Well, if okay, let's put it like this. Markets make a recovery. Markets do whatever damage they're going to be done. We go into whatever recession or we'll go into whatever extended whatever. After the dust has settled, then I hope people put some skin in the game. I really do. Because we're talking about people buying Bitcoin now. What if Bitcoin goes down in price? People are still going to be buying Bitcoin. When the dust settles, I hope people put skin in the game, because you don't want to be that person when, and my definition of a proper bull run is when Bitcoin breaches its recent all-time high of $20,089. It breaches, if it goes to $21,000 or $20,100, then you don't want to be like, man, I wish I would have bought Bitcoin when it was $10,800. Man, wish I would have bought Bitcoin when it was $5,000. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You don't have to be a Bitcoin multi-millionaire. there's one of 3 or 4 ways for you to benefit on Bitcoin. The top people like the Thomas Paula Happy Tears, the what's the guy
Jack
that
Dorsey.
yeah, Jack Dorsey, man, you read my mind. They are going to buy all this Bitcoin. They're going to be rich. You're going to have people who was in Bitcoin when it was fringe, bleeding the edge, who was mining Bitcoin on their PCs that got 1,000 Bitcoin. They're going to be rich. The other people, they're going to collect, they're going to purchase, and they're going to hodl Bitcoin. And the amount of money they're going to make is going to allow them to pay off a mortgage. It's going to allow them to pay off a child support. It's going to allow them to pay off a few loans, credit cards, student loans. The third wave, or the third level of people, is going to buy Bitcoin. And once Bitcoin increase in price, that money that they make is going to allow them to put a dent in their mortgage. It's going to allow them to put a dent in their child support. It's going to allow them to put a dent in their student loans and credit cards and bills. It's going to help them reduce that debt load. So yeah, they're going to be people that are going to make a lot of money off of it. There's going to be people that make enough money to pay off all their bills, start off with a clean slate. And there are going to be people that buy enough that allow them to reduce that debt load that's on their shoulders. So you don't have to be a Bitcoin millionaire. You can actually meet one of those criteria. Hope I answered the gentleman's question. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, guys. My prediction is not as detailed and as thorough as Lynell. I'm going to keep it real. Okay, I'm going to speak because I'm the dumbest guy on this panel. So my prediction is it'll be at 40,000 at the end of 2021. Get back to me after the election, and then I'll have a better prediction for you. Because right now, Lynell, with the way these debates have been going, you know, and I know a lot of people are saying Trump is down, but we've seen him be down before. Remember, 4 years ago, he was down to Hillary, and then he kicked her butt, and nobody was expecting it. Well, I wasn't. Now people say, well, what does the election have to do with the price? Lynell could probably tell you better than I could, but isn't it more of market sentiment, you would say, Lynell?
Yeah, market sentiment. It scares investors. It really do scare investors, because you don't know who's on the other side of this. If you want to buy something, you don't know who you're buying it from. It may be people who went through or seen people go through what they've been through in 2007, 2008, 2009, and they're just being careful. It really scares people. And someone may say something, Trump may win, and a person like, oh boy, here we go. Or Biden that may win, and a person may be like, okay, here we go. Here come the taxes. You never know. So it is market sentiment. It is a lot of people being fearful. It's a lot of businesses who bottom line is contingent on who will win. You never know.
Now, Lynell, do you think my prediction that at the end of 2021 it might go up to 40,000, is that asinine? Is that realistic? Or is that, well, Solo, we're just going to have to wait? Because right now, look, if I was psychic right now, I'd be rich right now with 5 Colombians, 5 Persians, 5 Brazilians, in a mansion somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not psychic. But is my prediction realistic, you think, or not? Like, keep it real right now. Let's be open about this.
I think your prediction, you say 41,000?
40,000.
40,000. Your prediction of 40,000
at the end of 2021, not the beginning, but at the end of December 2021.
Okay, your prediction of 40,000 is realistic. The time frame, I don't know. I can't tell about that. The reason I say your prediction of 40,000 is realistic because back in 2013, even before Bitcoin was trading at $100. Who would have thought that some crap you was mining on your computer while you were watching YouTube videos was going to shoot up to $20,000? When Bitcoin went up to $1,000 and dipped back down to $200, I can imagine a lot of people were like, Man, this some BS, man. I'm out. When what's his name? The pizza guy. Oh my God. Well, I know his name. I know his name. He spent, I think, 50,000 BTC for 2 Papa John's pizzas. That was the first example of Bitcoin being.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. Yeah.
Okay.
Laszlo, that's his name. Laszlo. Who would have thought, if he would have known or had some inkling of Bitcoin going through to $1,000. Right now, Bitcoin is $10,800. Going to $1,000. Let me break out my trusty calculator. Going to $1,000. He wouldn't have spent 50,000 Bitcoin, which equals $5 million on some freaking Papa John's pizza that wouldn't have been in his stomach a week later. So yes, I think
right now. Hold on, cut you off. To your knowledge, because I've heard this story before, right? I thought it was a legend, but I guess it's legit, right? But do you think he still has some, or did he just sell all of it?
I don't think so. I don't think he sold all of it. I think he sold a good, I don't know, maybe a good portion that he had. I don't think he sold all of it, because at that time, it was in 2009. You were still able to mine Bitcoin on your laptop.
I mean, like, now listen, if I buy for that amount of Bitcoin, that pizza better last me for the rest of my life in my stomach, man. I should never ever be hungry again.
Hey, that's a lot of money. $5 million for now and today. Well, and actually, no, $5 million in today, it's like $50 million.
And Ike, remember, thank God this guy hasn't committed suicide. And I don't say that sarcastically, but if that was me, I'm not saying I would kill myself, but I would definitely try to hurt myself. Like, I'm not even capping right now, man, for real.
Yeah. So Bitcoin, I know it's Laszlo. Yeah, Laszlo Henitz, and this is him. I know he's kicking himself. He has to be. But in his defense, at the time he did it, that was his first instance of Bitcoin being traded for money, or some type of good. And I think people calculated that Bitcoin to be a couple cents each. That's like, and I want to preface this. I am not saying this coin I'm about to say will go up to $10,000. I am not saying that. But it is like XRP going up to $10,000. It's 25 cents. You know the trek it has to go up to get to $10,000, the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, the frustrations, the over exuberance. You know, it yeah, it's easy in hindsight for people to say, "Oh, I can buy a hold," but buying a hold is really, really hard. It is. So yeah, I'm sure he's kicking himself.
Well, Lynell, it's like I have a boy, right? And I made a video about it. Hold on, I gotta Google the amount, man. But let me. Is it cool if I read the super chats real quick?
Hey, I'm on your show, man.
Well, like, you know, I defer to y'all. Real talk. Shout out to Mr. Dump Your Boyfriend 305. Hey, salute to you. Hey, Mr. Dump Your Boyfriend 305, man. I'm actually might be going to the 305 not pretty soon. He says OPTT PRTY GVO stock market Bitcoin won't come till 2025. You better off investing in SQ. SQ?
Oh, Square.
Square. Okay. Square. Okay. Listen, Mr. Dump Your Boyfriend 305. I like his screen name, by the way. It's funny. I appreciate you for the $50. I really do. Oh, Bobby McKnight. Yo, Bobby, man, listen, man. Bobby McKnight, man, you got to tell me who your tailor is, bruh. That suit is looking crispy. Facts. He says historically, after every halving, the price of Bitcoin rises at least 3,000% from the halving date price. Check the TA charts Expect BTC to be at least 100K in 2021. Last halving in 60 price was 650. Hey, yo, Ike, we need to talk, man. I need to borrow like 10 stacks from you real quick. You feel me, bro? I'll pay back with interest. Trust me.
Yeah, no problem.
Lynell, what is your take on this? By the way, let me mute myself because hey, Ike, but I'm serious, bro. Let's talk behind the scenes. I'll pay you back with interest. Go ahead, Lynell. It's on you, man. It's on you.
I'll say this. I'm not refuting that Bitcoin rose 3,000%. But you have to look. The higher in price Bitcoin goes, the harder it will be to replicate that 1,000-something%. Bitcoin rose 3,000% from a very low price. So 3,000% from like 2016 of a few $100s is possible. But so let's say from $500 to $20,000, it's possible. But from $20,000 to whatever 3,000% is, that from there, it's like pushing against gravity. It'll be harder. So I say it's less unlikely that Bitcoin will replicate that 3,000 or 1,000% gain from a higher price because it's harder to do. That's like, to give an example, Apple. I want to go to Apple. Apple went from what? Well, they did a stock split, but let's say Apple went from go to weeks. Apple went from a small amount of what?
I found the video. So what I'm gonna do is
Oh, so Apple went from like a 17-cent to a 200% gain to where it's at now. Apple's a $2 trillion company. To do 200% again, you are saying Apple will go from $2 trillion company to 3 trillion or 4 trillion. At their point, they are a large percent. They would make up a large percent of the US GDP. Like real round number percent of the US GDP. So it's harder for Apple to make a 200% gain from this price than it did from this low price. It's easy from this low price. But again, I am not saying that Bitcoin cannot increase a good percentage point. What I'm saying is it'll be harder for it to replicate that 3,000% from a higher price. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Solo, are you ready, or
Lynell, can I? I'm gonna send you this link in the back of the chat. If it's okay, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You can play it after, but yeah, my boy had $5 and he turned into 10K, and then he sold it. And I'm still mad to this day. Yeah, Lynell, I posted it in the back if you want to copy it's a 6-minute video that we did. And yes, there are Colombian women in this video, believe it or not, by coincidence. Or I think they're Brazilian. But yeah, Lynell, when you see that video, I was mad. This is some other thing, man.
But you know what? And this, I'm not trying to clown anybody, but it's reality. A lot of people never had the amount of money at one time in their life. So the familiarity with that amount of money is foreign. And they may feel, they may feel nervous or okay, something gonna happen, so
mm-hmm.
I can if he was like that, I can see that.
Okay.
Lynell, I got a question for you. Another question. And
Sure.
this has to do with your particular, and this is kind of like maybe from a point of view of maybe monetary policy or even politics, because there's a certain libertarian, decentralized ethos to this entire cryptocurrency space. Are you at all? Are you part of that kind of ethos? What do you think about Bitcoin philosophically, or do you just approach this simply from hey, this could possibly hold my value, or do you have any of those kinds of libertarian leanings.
All right. So I want to thank people for subscribing. I'm at 782. We had a seven people subscribe. I want to thank you. I appreciate it. To answer your question, so what for people that may not understand what you're saying, quick backstory. Bitcoin, in Bitcoin's beginnings, it was a lot of people that was on in the cypherpunk scene, cypherpunk libertarianism scene that really worked on Bitcoin. There's a lot of people that was coding. There was actually an email list that where people, sign up for, they were in this particular group or particular community. They would sign up, and then obviously Satoshi Nakamoto presented it to them. You had people, you had your Hal Finney's that really worked on it. So they believed in certain ideologies. Hence, when Bitcoin's first block was mined, it was a link to the UK's, I won't say Daily Mail, that said no, a second bailout was coming, so they had pretty specific thoughts. Do I subscribe to it? In a way, I think the way I subscribe to it is how a lot of people will subscribe to it, meaning they don't want, Big Brother looking over your shoulder. So, but more, I am a agnostic investor, meaning you hear a lot of people say, oh, Bitcoin's better than gold. Bitcoin is gold 2.0. Bitcoin is such and such. Gold is this. Bitcoin better. Gold is bad. Me, both gonna make me money. If both rising in price, I see no reason to pick one or the other. As a matter of fact, there's no one forcing you to pick one or the other. It's just a lot of people in the cryptocurrency community that are saying that. They are reiterating this. If gold is going up in price, why wouldn't you want to make money? If Bitcoin is going up in price, why wouldn't you make money? I'm an agnostic investor when it comes to these. But I do understand your question. So a lot of libertarian / cypherpunk people, they do have a thought in terms of financial monetary theory, Yeah. Oh, and I'd like to add, when a lot of people come to the space and they hear that, a lot of times they're hearing it not from the actual people that are in that community, or the people that have been a part of that community for some time before Bitcoin. They're hearing it from people who have come into crypto, like what's being heard, been in it for 1 or 2 years, maybe 3, and they're starting to regurgitate everything that they've heard. And now people are saying, oh yeah, the dollar's gonna die. The dollar's trash. The dollar's not backed by nothing. Look, let's look at the dollar. Let's look at the monthly. Dollar's dying, right? Okay. The dollar bottomed out in 2008. From then, it's been on an escalating path. It's been going up. As a matter of fact, it's in an upward parallel pattern. We are on the stochastic, we're in oversold territory. We have waning negative momentum going into positive momentum. I don't want to say the dollar's dying. Yeah, the dollar's not backed by nothing. The dollar, you know what the dollar's backed by? The dollar's backed by the U.S. military. I kid you not. It's backed by the U.S. military. So that's your dollar. And when you go get your haircut, what do you pay for? In dollars. When OPEC nations send oil to Europe, what do they pay for? And how do they buy? In dollars. They don't use the Great British Pound. They don't use the euro. They don't use the Kuwaiti dinar. They use the dollar. So when people get into the cryptocurrency space, they hear this stuff and they get all excited, like, yeah, the dollar's gonna die, blah blah blah. If the dollar die, how you gonna pay your rent?
So Lynell, are you hold on 1 second here. Let me adjust my mic 1 second. Bear with me, guys. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So Lynell, basically you're saying that the dollar is not going anywhere soon, correct?
Not anytime soon. Now, people hear different things. Yes, I'm saying the dollar's not going anywhere soon, but I am not saying that the dollar will be here forever.
Mm.
That's what I'm saying. But anytime soon, within the next, and soon to us, the humans, is within the next 5 or 10 years. No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
That's
no fiat lasts forever. It's almost a given. You can
Yeah.
definitely say it's not going to be here forever for sure.
Right. Now the dollar been around for decades, so dollar been around longer than most of us that's listening to this right now been alive. So that's why I said in human years, I don't think the dollar's going nowhere anytime soon within the next couple years or so.
I think we're still going on the halving.
Oh,
he says the first halving took the price from $12 to $1,070 in a year from 2012 to 2013. Then it retraced.
yeah, to $200. Yeah.
Let me ask you something, Lynell. I understand the last thing you mentioned with regards to the halving, the price, and you mentioned that yes, just because you shoot up from a low level and you gain 3,000%, you mentioned it's like pushing against gravity. The bigger you get, the harder it is to grow, right? And so China can have these crazy growth rates when they're starting from a low level, but more developed countries or United States can't grow as fast. You give many examples. You talk about Apple, so on and so forth, right? So that's one thing. But then there is something implied by the people that I'm not going to make it anything personal. I'm just saying when there is a statement like the halving took the price from here to here, or the halving caused it, right? Correlation versus causation type stuff, right? So yeah, the price has been going up. You may say, scarcity, adoption, many things, but is it really that? Can one really say it's the halving that's doing that? And how many people even really know about the halving vis-a-vis the fact that now it's getting more scarce? Anyway, so you hopefully understand my question.
Yeah. So the halving, no, we've had two halvings, and like he said, the price went up from a couple dollars to $1,000 and retrace. Second halving, the price, we saw the correlation between the S&P and the stocks. Yeah, you can say the halving made a impact on the price movement, but is that the only thing? I don't think it's the only thing. That okay, yeah, scarcity does mean that price normally go up, but it's the halving the only thing as to why the price move. We've seen the marketplace. The marketplace is literally people buying and selling. It's a collection of human sentiment. It literally is. It makes these patterns. So it's not just a halving. And when the price goes from a low amount to a high amount, and it creates a 3,000% gain, that's good. It's easy to do. But from a high amount and creating that next 3,000% gain, that is literally hard to do. To give you an example, Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett, everybody knows Warren Buffett. Everybody says Warren Buffett said this, Warren Buffett said that. True. Okay, fine. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway A class. This is an A class. He do have a B class. A class stock is $323,275. So look at its max. Let's go to the max. So from here, when it was $7,000 to here, yeah, it made an X amount of percent gain. But to make that same percent gain, well, I think it went from like, let's see, how can I do this? I know it went from like, I know how to do it. That's like from 7,000 to like its current price is a 3,761% gain. Let's say we're going to multiply $323,275 by 3,271%. That's a 10 for every share of Berkshire Hathaway. it'll cost $10 million. That's harder to do. It's harder to make that, to replicate that type of gain. And again, I am not saying that Bitcoin cannot go up to high highs. What I am saying is it's harder to do. And if it does make those gains again, it'll take longer to make. And by the time we're dead and gone, it'll still be making those gains. So I want to reiterate, I'm not saying that Bitcoin cannot go to 50,000. I'm not saying Bitcoin cannot go to 100,000. I'm not saying Bitcoin can go to 1 million. You have to admit, at that point, it's pure speculation. There's nothing you can say that will still affect Bitcoin price 10 years from now. That's the reason why it will make these high highs. It's pure speculation. Can it do it? Sure. Yes, it can. Fine. But what logical reason you can say it will reach $1 million? Because of another halving? We don't know. That's 4 years from now. We don't know. What if Bitcoin's $25,000 from 4 years from now? What if Bitcoin's $50,000? That's a far cry from $1 million. Can it reach $1 million? Sure, it can. It's pure speculation. That's all I'm saying.
What do you think about Ethereum and any other possible so-called Ethereum killers out there, right? Yeah.
There's been Ethereum killers for a very long time. I mean, Tron. Tron is the most favorite Ethereum killer. Cardano, yeah, I don't know, because the creator Cardano, Charles Hoskinson, he's one of the co-founders of Ethereum. Ethereum is still number 2. I don't know what Ethereum killers are at. Instead of saying Ethereum killer, just do your own thing, man. So I'm going to go to Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. I think it's the Enterprise Alliance or Enterprise Ethereum. Yeah, it's the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. Ethereum has a lot of things going on for itself. And to be an Ethereum killer, in my eye, I could be wrong, somebody please correct me, you will have to have at least the same number of members in your alliance that Ethereum has. And I'm gonna read off. I'm gonna take my dark mode off. I don't think I need to. Some of the people that's in the Ethereum Alliance.
Lynell, can I interject real quick?
Go ahead.
I just got to shout out Mr. J.I. You know who you are. I don't want to, dox you or nothing like that. But he dropped $5 in the Cash App. Thank you. I appreciate that. He says, for Solo, keep on going, bro. You put out fire content. Guys, listen, I'm just here in the background. I'm listening. I'm putting all of this on the gram because I'm trying to spread awareness. And I'm very grateful for Lynell coming on, for Ike coming on. And I'm grateful for you hitting the Cash App as well, because, times are rough right now. So thank you. God bless you. Go ahead, Lynell. Keep going. Appreciate you, bro.
So this is the Ethereum Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. As you see it in the top left corner. So these are some of the companies that are in here, and they're familiar looking companies. You have Accenture. Let's find some more there.
Wait. Is OnlyFans on there?
I don't think OnlyFans on that. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
Hey man, I got to keep it light too. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm here for, Ike. I'm here for the jokes, bro. I'm here for the jokes.
You have Baidu, which is I think it's the Google of China. You have BBVA, which is a bank. You have Banco Santander, which is a large bank.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're big in the Northeast and the New England area. The Bank of New York Mellon, Cambridge Blockchain, Consensus. You have Citizens Reserve, CipherTrace. I'm looking for some that just jump. I know JP Morgan Chase is on here.
Mm-hmm.
You have, I think, Rutgers College is on here too. Let me go to R. I believe Rutgers on here. Yep, Rutgers University is on here. I think Microsoft is on here. You have Microsoft. So in order to be an Ethereum killer, in my opinion, again, I can be corrected. I'm not saying that no one can dethrone Ethereum. No, but to dethrone Ethereum, I believe that you will have the type of alliance, the type of partnerships that Ethereum has. These George Brown College, these are notable. Intel. You got Intel. I mean, I can stop at Intel. People know Intel. JP Morgan Chase Bank. People know these places, and they are in this alliance. Eh, so it could theory be a Ethereum killer? Sure, why not? But right now, I don't think so.
Does the alliance mean that they are using the Ethereum blockchain, or does the alliance mean something else?
So what's about? I'm not. Hey, while we're here, we may as well read what the about is instead of you all hear me gibber. So I know. Well, we already know about JP Morgan Chase. They took the Ethereum code and made a private block. No, I think it's of course, a hybrid blockchain. So the EEA is a member-led industry organization whose objective is to drive the use of Ethereum blockchain technology as an open standard to empower all enterprises. Our members are thought leaders from around the globe with a shared vision to create enterprise-ready solutions. So that's what the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance is. They're pushing the adoption of the Ethereum blockchain technology. And you have this. You have XRP that's doing the same thing, that they have a foundation that's pushing the adoption and pushing XRP to be used in different avenues other than competing with Swift. You have this. You have Bitcoin Foundation that's not using, but pushing for the adoption of Bitcoin.
Hey guys, can you do me a favor, guys? Look, these brothers are dropping great information and asking good questions. All I ask tonight is that you follow them. Follow Ike. He's been a great supporter of mine and also has been on some streams, as well as Lynell. Follow them. Of course, smash the like button. I'm gonna post Ike's channel and the link as well. Okay, these guys drop great information. Go ahead, Lynell. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I want for those that are not supporting you guys or not subscribe, I would like to shout you guys out because you guys are way better than I am. I'm on a baby level, and you guys are already in college with this, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, if anybody else got any more questions, shoot. But I hope I'm answering people's questions.
So what I'm actually gonna do, should we open the panel up, guys, or
I ain't got nothing else to do.
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna open up the panel, and we appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Also, shout out to the brother once again who dropped that in the Cash App. Really appreciate it. And so crypto questions only, guys. I'm not taking any questions. We're not taking any questions that don't have anything to do with crypto or finances in regards to the markets. So if you are here to ask how to get a big booty white girl, that's not the stream tonight. Okay, guys? Thank you.
Oh, and if people want to learn about crypto, I know Ike, you mentioned Andreas Antonopoulos. He's he talks about it in a very easy way. And his YouTube channel is AAN.
Oh, hold up. I gotta get subscribed to him. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead, bro.
So this is YouTube channel. It's A Antonop. It's AANTONOP. He talks about it in a very easy way. Like he literally answers people's questions. They ask him questions on his Patreon. And also what I like is Cointelegraph. They have a section, Cointelegraph.com. They have a section on how can I find the section? So if you go to their search bar on Cointelegraph and type explained, Explained. Am I spelling that right? I think I am. Explained. I think that's it. This should be it, right? Yeah, I think that's it. So oh wow, they just want to take his time. Have you ever done it to y'all? Y'all trying to explain something and you know your computer fast, but it's like it want to be slow at that specific time. So, but they have a section. Oh, I know where's it at. My bad. My apologies. If you go down to the bottom, under Cryptopedia, it says explained right here. You click on that, and it'll take you to articles that help you understand aspects of crypto. You have long and shorts position explained. You have DeFi yield farming explained. DeFi oracles explained. Mapping on blockchain explained. How bot trading influences the crypto market explained. And these are great articles for you to read, and over a period of time, you can actually learn different aspects about cryptocurrency. And I want to give a shout out to Hester Pierce. This is her right here. She is, I think, the chairman, not the chairman, but she's a high figure, and I think the SEC, and she's pro crypto. So I'm going to give a shout out to Hester Pierce. And yeah, block size and scalability explained. You can read one article a week, not even a day, and over a long period of time, you will understand it.
Okay, and we got Mr. G, the recycling guy in the building. Brother, do you have a question or something to add to the panel? You can go ahead and unmute yourself, man.
Good evening. How you doing, fellas? What's going on? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet everybody. Solo Ike, salute.
Salute to you.
I'm pretty familiar with everybody. Hold on, I got a freaking phone call here. I'm pretty familiar with everybody on the panel. I kind of like your show a little bit, Solo. I like what you're doing over there. But I really came to I seen crypto on my timeline over here on YouTube, so I just decided to just sit down and be a viewer. And I just wanted to share like a point real quick about the whole crypto space. I believe, you know, a lot of us are sold on the price. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, I mean, I'm more of a, I'm not gonna throw out the whole libertarian approach, but I look at, you know, I look at the whole 5 pillars of what makes a blockchain a blockchain. Like you said before, some of us are a little more advanced in you know, this field than most. So I look at what most blockchains are, you know, what makes them a viable blockchain, as far as what, you know, the gentleman Andreas Antonopoulos speaks of on a lot of his chats and his speeches. So I tend to look at projects like, you know, Ethereum and Bitcoin as, you know, valid projects that fit the 5 pillars of what a valid blockchain is. I mean, you'll find out yourself. So I mean, once you understand what the 5 pillars are, you tend not to look more at the price, because at the end of the day, we're all at the age where we're investors, and we all have a couple of dollars to, you know, invest into plant roots and for our future. So I try not to. That's from my approach. I don't look at the price. I invest from a standpoint of, I know this is a hedge against what's happening with the dollar, because let's not be, you know, let's not play ourselves here, because they like to throw out a lot of economic large gibberish words to confuse a lot of us. We should be really using common sense here. They're printing trillions and trillions of dollars into the system, and the cost of consumer goods and services are going to go up. Slowly, they're going to go up. So, I mean, that's pretty much why I'm into Bitcoin, and that's really why Bitcoin is even here, period. It's not here to save, you know, the whales, or, you know, stop climate change or anything like that. It's really honestly here to protect against, it's for people that like to save their money and plan for the future, you know. And that's my take on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
go ahead. My bad.
Just a quick kind of a joinder to that. And that's kind of why I asked you, I've been asking you a couple of things about, the volatility. Like we talked about Chamath's kind of idea of, well, get it and hope you never need it. And you mentioned also the dollar is never going away. From the way I look at it, it's kind of like a monetary policy competition. And I mean, competition doesn't mean that it's a question of, oh, the dollar is going to disappear. It's a question of, well, who's going to actually hold my value more? And by monetary policy competition, I'm just talking about like gold versus the dollar, which is something that's been going on forever. It doesn't mean that gold displaced the dollar or was ever trying to. And there's some people who have the idea, oh, well, Bitcoin is going to destroy everything. Not really understanding that if Bitcoin destroys everything, you have to understand everything that correlates with that and what the world is going to look like. And that's why I think Chamath talks about that's like the apocalypse landscape. If the whole thing comes crumbling down, it's not just a kumbaya, right? It's not just going to happen that way. But there is a monetary policy competition where someone is saying, by someone I mean, Bitcoin is saying, hey, I'm going for as opposed to inflationary, I'm going, anti-inflationary. I'm going for monetary hardening. I'm going for limited supply. And if I get enough adoption and people say that this is money through the belief and so on and so forth, then there will be competition. Doesn't mean that the dollar has to necessarily disappear. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah. So now you have options, right? It used to, like you said, it used to be gold and dollars. Or, if you understood what section rotation was, you can do that. You have options now. So I know the gentleman said 5 pillars of what a blockchain is. So on my page, I have a direct link to Andreas Antonopoulos' YouTube page under, the right-hand side of like other crypto tubers that this person may look at. I have his right here, the first link. Now, on his page, only thing I did was search his page and I typed pillars.
If you could do me a favor, Mr. G, if you got the stream playing in the background, if you could please mute it because it'll interfere with the audio. Thank you. Oh, go ahead, Lynell. My bad.
Oh yeah. So I went on his page and typed pillars in a search, and 30-minute video, the 5 pillars of open blockchains, and I saw it. It's a discussion that he had at this get together, and he talked about the 5 pillars of a blockchain, and that's just a video. You can listen to it. You got to look at it. It's in podcast form. You can listen to over and over again if you need to get a general understanding of what to look for. And he discusses that. I know it's decentralization, unconfiscatable. Wow. I know it's 3 more. Wow. But just look at the video. Yeah, he talks about it. He talks about it. Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions, guys? The stream will be posted here in the chat. I mean, we were doing a crypto stream. Anybody else have any questions? If not, then we will probably segue to the end here, unless Ike, is there anything else in particular you want to talk about?
No, I mean,
one thing I want to say, Mr. G, I do appreciate what you said. He said, we're too focused on the price sometimes. And for me as a hodler, I had to learn, because 2017, I mean, Lynell will tell you, 2017 was like, this might be a bad reference, but it was like a crack addict on the block. I mean, it was everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was for the low too. But one thing you learned real quickly is that, you have to realize, well, for me, once again, this is not financial advice. I have my own strategy, but you got to pace yourself. I mean, Lynell will agree with me because we've talked about this. You got to be in this for the long term. Even if you're a trader, you got to be in it for the long term, right? And, some people, I saw a YouTube video, I forgot by who, some guy lost a lot of money because he always had FOMO, right, Lynell? Every time he saw a coin go up, he would get FOMO, put all his money in, and he lost like $500,000 or something crazy. I mean, the video's on YouTube. I forgot the guy's name. But what I'm saying is this. and this is just common sense. You know, don't go crazy with your investments. And the FOMO, Lynell, is real, man. The FOMO is real. Kind of like when OnlyFans went up 200%, and I was like, dang, I wish I would have invested. But you know what? My conscience, I probably wouldn't have slept good at night. But the point I'm trying to make is that, you know, have a strategy in place. That's all I got to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you asked if I had anything else to add. No, like as I said when I started, or when we started the stream a couple hours ago, like, well, I'm someone who got into this mainly because of a understanding of the fundamentals, or wanting to understand more about the fundamentals. So I threw money in, and then as I throw money in, then you throw attention in, and then you start to learn more and more, and you start to kind of go with it. To talk about this thing about pricing, and it's one of the reasons why I like Andreas a lot, is that he comes at this from a pure technologist point of view. His thing is to talk about the technology. He's a blockchain enthusiast, and he really explains it from, again, the technology point of view. Not even, because if you say fundamentals, then you're talking about, like, you got to add them. There's a market element to fundamentals. For him, it's the technology. What's the technology about? What's revolutionary about the technology? How does it actually help? And a lot of people don't realize, because you live in the United States, where there is relative ease when it comes to access to financial instruments or to bank accounts and so on and so forth. Or you're living in a society where you have not really seen currency collapse like that. You're not in Zimbabwe, you know, you weren't in Weimar, Germany, and so on and so forth. So, but there are places, right, like in Africa, where, or generally speaking, if you have to deal with in a lot of international transfer of money, where you have a lot of middlemen, you're dealing with Western Union, who just take money really for not really doing anything. It's almost like if somebody was charging you for email. It's really what it has come down to, right? And in these places, you're seeing massive increase in the adoption amongst African citizens in Nigeria, Uganda, certain other places, right? And this is true in many places where access to the banking infrastructure is not really high. And this was similar to the jump that was made in these same countries, going straight from, they skipped over landline and went straight to cell phone, right? And to the internet in general, where now the common person, whom, you know, may not have a lot of money in his pocket, but they all have cell phones, and the money that they do have, they transfer it using all these kind of money. I don't even, in other words,
M-Pesa.
Exactly. M-Pesa as an example, for example. Yeah, yes. So this is happening around you, and you may be, if you're in the West, you may not really recognize, well, you might say, I don't see people, you know, adopting Bitcoin and so on and so forth. Well, generally, yes. And that is because the use case, the problems that it solves are problems that exist worldwide. And then that, you know, leads to more adoption, which then takes us to the price question, even though generally speaking, you don't want to look at price fundamentally. The way I kind of treat the price question is my public facing side, right? In terms of talking about it, I don't really like to talk about the price. But since you have it, right? Since you got Bitcoin, there's no way, again, privately, that you don't open up that app and look and be like, ooh, or fantasize about, like, about that boat in Colombia, right?
Yeah.
So that's just a given, right? We're human beings. The thing has a price. You're gonna look at it and be like, but when it comes to the kind of the talking about it, really is about fundamentals. It's about monetary policy competition, and it is about the technology.
And I'm on Google Trends, and 3 of the top 5 countries that search Bitcoin via Google are African countries: Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana.
That's right. Ghana in the house. That's right.
Shut up.
Hey, pardon me, I just wanted to add something to this conversation here. I wanted to also say, because a lot of people, they're priced out of Bitcoin already. If you want to really look at it, you have people that have $200,000-$300,000 in the Chase account, Wells Fargo account, escrow, and they will never even think to put $100 into the Bitcoin network, or even put their money onto this ledger that is permanent. You know what I'm saying? So it's a psychological thing for a lot of people. So I believe the whole idea of excuse me. I believe evolution is taking a turn, and this is my opinion here. Evolution is taking a turn to where it's not the man that's bigger than you with the bigger club. I believe it's the man who gets information faster than you and acts upon it. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
I believe that's pretty good analogy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I think we've moved to that realm now. You know what I'm saying? We all have the information now. We have the internet. You understand? Everybody has access to Bitcoin. We all just gonna get it at different times and act upon it at our own free will. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's the logical choice, y'all. You know what I mean? Economically, they're hitting us with all kind of mumbo jumbo when they're doing clearly what they're doing is flooding the market with money, and they're keeping most common Americans stupid. I mean, I live in New York City and I drive a recycling truck. You know what I'm saying? This is my business. And so I'm looking at all strata of different wealth levels. I'm in the poor neighborhoods. I'm on Fifth Ave. I'm on Madison. I'm in the West Village. I'm in the Bowery. I'm in Chinatown. And I see different people, and I just see them coming and going. I'm out all day. So I see people coming going out in the morning and coming in at night. And sometimes I think, like, what's on some of these people's minds, you know? You know, where we going? What are they planning for their children? And where we going? So, you know, aside from that, just pretty much just seeing this, whoever moves on Bitcoin first, it depends on game theory. Whoever moves on it first is going to be the winner. You know what I'm saying? What's this guy's name? Hal Finney sent the letter to Nakamoto, you know, pretty much just letting them know, like, hey, listen, if this thing catches on, you know, we're gonna be pretty wealthy men. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Nakamoto responded to him or anything like that. And this is going into like the whole law behind Bitcoin and everything like that. But this is kind of important because I think our kids are gonna be probably reading books on this thing. That's a fact. You know? Yeah. I mean, that's my take on it.
Interesting.
It's very interesting, Solo. It's borderline fringe still, but to be quite honest with you, if this thing becomes law, and it's a strong candidate, I'm not gonna 100% on it myself, but I do believe in it. I mean, as a matter of fact, I was actually just flashing my book right here. You know what I'm saying? I actually just ordered this the other day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. And
by the Annonopolis guy. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I haven't just been on this wave. I just recently got on it, and I'm a latecomer. I'm not a day one guy.
You're not early, but you're not late. Trust me. The people that are going to be late are like Lynell said. That be like Dane when it's at 21,000. They wish they would have gotten in at 10,000 or when it was 5,000 back in March. Those are the late. You know what I'm saying? Comers. Facts.
Yeah, and I take it to, consideration. Retirement. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hustler. I use my back, my arms, my hands, my feet. You know what I mean? I'm pretty tech savvy, but you know, I make most of my money with my hands and stuff. So what if I get injured? What if I don't want to do this? Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? What am I going to do in the future? It's a lot of things to consider. You understand what I'm saying? Because I know nobody over here is thinking about Social Security, carrying them on, anything like that. I mean, a Social Security check gonna be worth like what?
Will that even be around 25 years from now? Shoot.
Some people don't even realize. Look, some people don't even realize that we right now, taxpayers, we're paying for the boomers. You know what I'm saying? We're paying for the boomers' Social Security check every month. We're feeding the system, and given with the rate of inflation and the value of the dollar index going down, because whoever put that TA chart with the index going up, it needs to actually go down. Because from the 70s, when we got off the gold standard, you seen that big hill that we came down from? It looks like we just been on a downslide then, and it looks like we're trying to just catch up. But all this money printing in the end is going to show itself, and the wise man is going to make the wise choice. That's it. And it's a very interesting time to be alive. Real talk. We're all looking at something right here that we don't even know what it really is yet. Some of the smartest men, I listen to some talks, some chats, some of the smartest men in the world really don't even know what this thing is yet. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm here with you. You know, and I'm a better myself. You know what I mean? And I like to hedge my bets. And I don't like to lose. That's a big fact. And I don't think you like to lose either. You know, that's my take on it. It's
Brother,
really
I don't think
on the game theory. You know,
can't lose with this. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of being patient. That's what I've learned. But then what do I know? I mean, you know, I'm the same guy who put his money in Litecoin. Now you see where Litecoin is at now. Let me shut up. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, listen, we all I put my money in XRP. I mean, so it is what it is. At the end of the day, we're all investing and looking at different avenues of getting yield and getting gain and getting more for what we work for. You understand? That's really what it is. And if you're rich, you know, you're trying to expand your asset base, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah. I really didn't have any questions. I really just came to just share my input on this. I was thinking about actually putting out a few videos on this topic here myself. You know, I mean, if I had the time.
you should, brother. We need more brothers in the space talking about this. Because, brother, listen, this is what's gonna happen. Because I've seen it. As soon as cryptos goes back up, it's gonna bring a lot of people on YouTube who want to, you know, they're gonna get that FOMO, and and whoever's got the wave, they're gonna get crazy views. I've seen this happen. Now, I'm not gonna say it was me, but I've seen this happen.
Yeah, I've seen it too. I follow a guy that do TA on technical analysis on crypto, Mitch Ray. When Bitcoin was going up, he had like 2,000 people in his live show. But now Bitcoin is like going sideways or going down. He don't even touch that. So yeah, it is a wave. It is a wave, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the same thing. I've seen crypto creators, you know, Lynell, when ICOs was, you know, popping. They had, you know, 1,500 people in their chat, and now people, you know, they lucky if they have 150 people. You know what I'm saying? So this is definitely going to be a wave, and whoever's going to ride the wave first, you know, will do so. Somebody says, what's up with the super chat? How you doing, Miss Celeste? Hey, yo, you follow me on Instagram? If not, Solo TV 84. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. I can't even pay my tithes. I got you when I re-up on the Cash App. Great topic, man. Keep it up. Yo, we appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, any final words, guys? You know, we've been here for almost 2.5 hours, so you know,
it was nice meeting you fellas, man. Thank you, and
nice meeting you.
Hopefully talking with you guys later on soon.
All right, bro. Take care.
Nice meeting you too. Take care.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go to Ike because I know Lynell is long-winded. Ike, do you have any final words on cryptos? Anything interesting you learned today, or something that, you know, gave you some mental tingles in regards to something you're gonna research more, or gave you some clarity or anything like that?
Well, first of all, I just want to really thank Lynell, right, for, you know, kind of for sharing his ideas, especially regarding analytics and really what it does. Now, for me, as he said, you know, this is a collection of human behavior. That's what it is. That's what we're charting here. We're not charting the rising of the sun, and we're not charting tides and things like that, which are physical systems, which, you know, the inputs and outputs of which are relatively clear. This has to do with human psychology, prices, FOMO, all that kind of crap. However, when you can see certain patterns, right? And then you can know how to hedge your bets accordingly following that. Because my particular deficiency at this point is in the analytics, right? And this is a temperamental thing for me too. It's not just a question of with Bitcoin or with finances in general. I tend to be more of a fundamentals guy, therefore a long-term guy, and also not so much paying attention to the details guy. In other words, that's my weakness. Therefore, that's what I tend to work on. And I liked all the sharing of the website, the talking about, you know, everything that Lynell shared today. That's a big part of what I'm going to be continuing to do research on. I want to just reiterate the first thing that I said before, which is if you're trying to get into this space, and that was kind of like one of your first questions, like what's the thing to do, the learning curve, this, that, and the other. It doesn't really matter how much money you put in. you want to make a game exciting for you, right? You know, whomever, the Bears versus whatever, right? A game, a boxing match, something. You already know where I'm going with this. Put some money into it, okay? Just, I don't care what it is. Go put $5 on Bitcoin, and maybe you don't actually get the actual Bitcoin. Maybe you just put it on the Robinhood, right? Buy that. That's a starting point. So you don't actually own the Bitcoin. You're just investing in it. You put $10 in it, and then you're gonna start all of a sudden, like magic. You're just gonna start going deeper and deeper into it. Okay, you're gonna want to learn more. You're gonna want to see what your money is doing, and you'll just expand from there. Then next thing you know, you have cold wallets and you have books by Andreas and Antonopoulos and so on and so forth. So that's just kind of what I wanted to end with. Go ahead, put money in, put skin in the game. That's how anything learns. That's how evolution happens. That's how your muscles grow, by having skin in the game, by getting work, by getting influence or information from the external world. So go ahead, put skin in the game, put some money in crypto, and the rest will take care of itself.
All right, guys, and make sure to subscribe to Ike. I posted the link in the chat, and if you're watching a playback, I will also post the links of these gentlemen in the description as well. And last but not least, Lynell. Listen, Lynell, I really appreciate you coming on here, bro. Every time you come on here, I feel dumber and dumber, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I just stick with the basics: adaptability, scalability. But Lynell, you have really, really, steadied this. I mean, I remember you being on panels talking about it, and now you have your own channel, and you've really grown. Before you give your final words, so to those who may be intimidated or discouraged, what advice do you have for them to learn? Because I know, we talked about the learning curve a bit, but man, brother, I got a lot of catching up to do to get to you where you're at. Facts.
Yeah, well, with me, like I say on my channel, I read the articles, and over a long time a period of reading the articles, things stick. You read things, same thing over and over again, it sticks. And those two resources that I say we can go to and learn more about crypto, Andreas Antonopoulos, and going on Cointelegraph, scrolling all the way to the bottom and clicking on explain, those are good places for people to learn concepts about cryptocurrency, to learn about cryptocurrency. Don't be mad that it don't happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight with me. It didn't happen overnight to a lot of people. This is a new concept. You have to learn it. It is a learning curve, but just daily or weekly reading will shorten that learning curve. So yeah. And thank you for having me on the show today. So I appreciate it.
Hey, no doubt, no doubt. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you guys for all who supported. Thank you for coming through, for Ike, Lynell, and this show. I think this is a great show. I mean, I enjoy the ambiance and the vibe of the show a lot more than yelling back and forth at Brandy. You know what I'm saying? Granted, this show is for the few. Lynell, what I see happening, bro. I see this happening because, like I said, I've seen it before. But Lynell, I think on the next bull run, your channel is gonna explode crazy. And you know what you got to do? Trevon James, big connect. I'm telling you, Lynell, get those millions and then dip out.
Oh man, that's hilarious. He's still going.
He's still going.
Yeah.
You know what's funny, Lynell? That he's still going. And that there are people that are actually still taking advice from this guy.
Yeah.
And you know what, Lynell? Oh, hold on. Before you answer, I will say this. I mean, I'm not saying that he's like the best expert, but he has a good personality that makes crypto fun for people like that. So I will give him that, right? And obviously, you could say maybe he got lucky or maybe he just came super early. But he does know. He knows more than me, but. Big connect. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. He has that inviting personality. That's what it is.
Yeah, but Lynell, I'm serious, Lynell. You might think, well, right now your channel isn't this, but Lynell, one day, maybe a year from now or 2-3 years, I don't know. You're gonna have 1,000 people in your live chat, and then I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna drop a little, XRP or whatever. Maybe YouTube will take something. Because here's what I think, Lynell. even though YouTube is anti-crypto, I think eventually they will be pro-crypto. They'll replace the super chat with crypto or use it as an alternate form of payment. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when that'll happen, but I can see it happening. And I'm saying, Lynell, that when that time comes, when you have 1,000, 2,000 people in your chat, I know, Lynell, you think I'm capping, but you're gonna be like, dang, Solo told me
Right.
2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, or what have you, that this would happen. And look, it'll happen. Because listen, Lynell, if this happens on my channel, oh, I'm charging everybody. I'm not even playing. You want a consultation? 5,000 XRP. Let's run it.
Man, hey, that would be great. That would absolutely be great.
You know. But yeah, anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys. I got to go to sleep. And God bless y'all. And we out. Peace.